10 celebrity feuds that ended horribly. Celebrity gossip is one of the most tantalizing aspects of everyday life. Some celebrity feuds are much worse than others though. And today we'll be covering 10 celebrity feuds that ended horribly. Be sure to hit that like button and leave a comment letting us know whose side you are on. Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie. Paris Hilton has become one of the biggest names in show business. She has starred in several movies and has faced countless scandals and controversies over the years. Still, she remains one of Hollywood's top stars and her career doesn't seem to be fading anytime soon. Paris was best friends with Nicole Richie when they were growing up. They both maintained similar careers and starred in the reality show The Simple Life together back in the early 2000s. Though back in 2005, their relationship came to an abrupt halt when Paris spoke out in an interview and mentioned they were no longer on speaking terms. Paris said, "Nicole knows what she did, and that's all I'm ever going to say about it." It came out that Nicole had become jealous of Paris Hilton's fame. She retaliated by setting up a party to celebrate Paris Hilton's appearance on Saturday Night Live. Though after everyone at the party viewed her appearance on the show, Richie proceeded to show a sex tape of Paris Hilton that leaked back in 2003. Paris was deeply hurt by this. The two never spoke again for nearly a decade, but in 2014 it was rumored that they had made amends and were speaking with one another on rare occasions. Sylvester Stallone and Richard Gere. Sylvester Stallone is one of the most recognizable names and faces in Hollywood. He has appeared in more films than we can count, and his career has been booming for many years. Sylvester and Richard Gere had an infamous fallout back in the 1970s when they were set to appear alongside one another for the film The Lords of Flatbush. The details on the incident are largely unknown, but it led to Richard being booted from the film and recast later on. Sylvester spoke about Richard in 2006 and said, "We never hit it off. He would strut around in his oversized motorcycle jacket like he was the baddest knight at the round table." Their relationship was virtually non-existent, but it is rumored that the pair got into a physical fight later on that involved chicken grease that had been spilled. The two spoke about the incident and mentioned that Richard was getting into the car with Sylvester while eating chicken. Sylvester warned him that the chicken would drip everywhere, but Richard insisted it would be okay. He took one bite and the grease splattered onto Sylvester's leg. We aren't exactly sure what happened after this, but it sounds pretty messy and slippery. Martha Stewart and Gwyneth Paltrow. Martha Stewart used to be one of the largest and most well-known lifestyle celebrities in the world, and she still is. Though after she spent some time in prison for various reasons, her career never took off the same way it did before. She can now be seen adding her brand to many different Chinese products, and she has become somewhat of a meme online in the last few years. Still, Martha has been giving it her all and is working hard to rebuild her brand. Though she and Gwyneth Paltrow have been at odds since 2014, and Martha spoke out against Gwyneth's idea to start up her own lifestyle business. Martha was quoted in an interview saying, "She's a movie star. If she were confident in her acting, she wouldn't be trying to be Martha Stewart." Martha also furthered her distancing from Gwyneth when she released a specialty pie recipe entitled it Conscious Coupling, an obvious attack on Gwyneth, who had publicly stated that she would be separating from her husband. Gwyneth fired back a short while later and released a recipe called Jailbird Cake. Martha was not pleased, and the two have been taking petty shots at one another ever since. Taylor Swift and Kanye West. Taylor Swift and Kanye West. Oh, where do I begin? These two have been in a public feud for over a decade, and it doesn't seem like they will be making amends anytime soon. Their feud began way back in 2009 when Taylor Swift was accepting an award at the MTV Music Video Awards. Kanye burst onto the stage and said his infamous "I'ma let you finish" line and proclaimed that Taylor's video was great, but Beyonce had one of the greatest videos of all time. One of the greatest videos of all time. The two made up the following year, but things quickly fell apart again when Kanye West released his song Famous and claimed that all of Taylor's success should be credited to him, as his infamous MTV hijacking helped Taylor's music to go viral. Taylor was very outspoken against the lyrics of the song and publicly proclaimed that she was upset by Kanye's attempts to undermine her success. Though the story doesn't end there. Kanye's wife, Kim Kardashian, later released footage of a conversation in which Taylor seems to have approved the song before Kanye released it. This made many fans feel as though Kanye and Taylor were concocting an entire situation as a way to gain publicity. This has never been confirmed, and as far as the public is concerned, Taylor and Kanye still hate each other. Lauren Conrad and Heidi Montag. Lauren Conrad and Heidi Montag had one of the most publicized fallouts back in 2007. The two were appearing alongside one another on the MTV show The Hills. After season 2 of the series aired, Lauren cut Heidi out of her life after rumors began to circulate that Lauren had created a sex tape with an ex-boyfriend, Jason Waller. This didn't sit well with the two, and they have been mortal enemies ever since. Both of the women denied the rumors of the tape when questioned by TMZ, and the two parted ways in 2009, ending their stint on The Hills. Both of the women have made public apologies about the situation, but fans can't seem to let it go. Heidi's husband, Spencer Pratt, still claims that the rumors are true and mentioned it again in 2015 in an interview with Complex. Pratt said, "Lauren is a cold-hearted killer. That's what people don't get. She will cut you in your sleep. She tried to destroy us. If you want to throw missiles, I'm throwing a nuke. This is how I operate." Hilary Duff and Lindsay Lohan. Hilary Duff first found fame in the early 2000s after the premiere of her Disney Channel original series, Lizzie McGuire. The show revolved around various antics of Lizzie and her friends and family. The series became incredibly popular with the younger audience and secured Hilary's place in the spotlight for several years. Around this time, Hilary met former pop star Aaron Carter while on the set of Lizzie McGuire. The two hit it off and began dating for over a year, though Aaron allegedly grew bored of Hilary and began shopping around, later forming a relationship with Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay was at the peak of her career at the time, and Aaron was all in their relationship, though he soon decided he had made a mistake and ran back to Hilary. The two started dating again almost immediately. Lindsay then publicly claimed that Hilary had stolen her boyfriend. Though Hilary denied this ever happened, it's easy to see where Lindsay is coming from. But Hilary says the situation wasn't so simple. She spoke with Allure magazine in 2008 and said, "I've never stolen anyone's boyfriend. I don't know how you do that." She was talking about it and I wasn't. It made us both look bad and put up a big weirdness. Shortly after this, Lindsay's career began to spiral out of control and she found herself in one bad situation after another. Her career essentially ended a few years later, and she is now working to rebuild her passion for music and television and plans to release new music very soon. Her feud with Hilary has never officially ended. Kim Kardashian and Chloe Grace Moretz. Kim Kardashian and Chloe Grace Moretz are not two actresses you see together very often. They have remained distant from one another for quite some time, but it seems as though their feud began in 2016 when Kim shared her famous nudie selfie on Twitter. Chloe has always been adamant about maintaining a clean-cut persona online and in the real world. She is constantly outspoken about her desire to spread a positive message to the younger generation, and Kim's photo certainly didn't fit this agenda. Chloe spoke out against the image and tweeted directly to Kim explaining that she found the photo offensive. Chloe said, "There's a huge difference in respecting the platform that you're given as a celebrity and slut-shaming, something I would never have done and would never do." Kim responded and said, "Let's all welcome Chloe to Twitter since no one knows who she is." Chloe never responded to the tweet, but she spoke with Glamour magazine about the incident and said that she doesn't regret speaking out against the photo. She said, "That picture wasn't linked to body confidence, as Kim had previously insinuated." Chloe continued, "It wasn't a hashtag body confidence or hashtag love who you are. It was done in a slightly voyeuristic light, which I felt was a little inappropriate for young women to see." Elton John and Madonna. Elton John is a man who needs no introduction. He has won more music awards than you could ever imagine, though he hasn't taken too kindly to Madonna and her success in recent years. The two have been enemies since 2012, and Elton has always suggested that he doesn't like her or her music. In an interview a few years ago, John was asked which artist had the greatest chance of winning an award for the best original song. When Madonna was mentioned, he claimed she didn't stand a chance. Madonna replied to Elton and said, "Those are fighting words." As fate would have it, Madonna won the award and put Elton John to shame. Katherine Heigl and Shonda Rhimes. Katherine Heigl and Shonda Rhimes have not played kindly over the years, though most of their feud can be attributed to the 2008 season of Grey's Anatomy. The two became involved in an altercation after Katherine rejected her nomination for an Emmy. Katherine said, "I did not feel that I was given the material this season to warrant an Emmy nomination. To maintain the integrity of the Academy organization, I withdrew my name from contention." Shonda, the producer of Grey's Anatomy, decided to boot Katherine off the show after her remarks about the production and script writing for that season. Shonda spoke on the Oprah Winfrey Show about the nomination a short time later and said, "On some level, it stung, and on some level, I was not surprised. When people show you who they are, believe them." David Letterman and Jay Leno. Johnny Carson, left The Tonight Show back in 1992. Upon his departure, it was assumed that the show would be handed over to David Letterman, who had been hosting the Late Night with David Letterman. Though rather unexpectedly, Jay Leno was elected as his replacement. Jay had appeared on David's show multiple times in the past as a comedian, but no one ever anticipated he would receive a show of his own. David was quite bitter about the decision, and both complimented and insulted Jay by saying that he was one of the funniest, yet most insecure people he had ever met. The two have suggested that they may be resolving their differences very soon, but we aren't too sure what this truce entails. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and ring that notification bell to keep up to date with our future videos.